Sadly, in yesterday's budget, we didn't see much about stimulus for the housing market apart from the money finding its way to the GLA. So there was nothing specific for the construction industry, no tax breaks, no re-emergence of Help to Buy, which clearly has its issues, but still created liquidity on the buy side. So there was a lack of genuine policy making to improve the planning process and get Britain building again. And I worry that without major stimulus, the construction market is a bit stuck. You know, average age of construction workers is too old. The demand for housing for central London and inner London private residential is virtually non-existent. And those markets need to be re-enlightened and given a new lease of life. Otherwise, you're not going to have a thriving construction industry, which has always been so critical to Britain's economy. And I fear that not enough is being done and is happening to kind of reignite the housing market and the construction sector, which is a huge driver for UK PLC. But you know, the horrific noises about mansion tax have been limited to a sensible number rather than a percentage of value on a yearly basis, which I think is a positive for people in the residential high-end community. Clearly, taxes on rental income is just further damaging small buy-to-let landlords, and it's almost now becoming pointless to buy and rent out second or third properties, whether it's the stamp duty on the way in, the inability to claim mortgage relief and now pay 47p in the pound of the rent. As an investment in a low capital growth environment, being a buy-to-let landlord makes no sense. You should put your money in the S&P or with A.S.K, and if things pan out, you'll get 10% on your money annually, whereas if you invest in buy-to-let, you'll get very little capital growth and virtually zero yield. So I think this budget has probably finally killed off what embers of buy-to-let investment market there were for anyone who's not doing it in a professional manner with multiple units, whether that's co-living or large-scale BTR. From our perspective at A.S.K, you know, the budgets continue to attack buy-to-let landlords, and what we're seeing and have seen over the last 7-8 years is a lot of our clients and investors who used to have 2 or 3 or 5, maybe 10 properties that they were running themselves have been slowly disposing of those buy-to-let properties and investing in our loans because they don't have any of the ongoing maintenance issues. They're getting a better return and it's hassle-free. So we expect that to continue. I think that buy-to-let investors who understand property and like it as a sector but don't want to deal with all the regulation and aren't really getting a meaningful net return will continue to want us to originate good, interesting loans for them where they can get high single digits or potentially low double digits, investing against the same asset class that they were buying as owning as buy-to-let investors, but without any of the hassle that goes with that. There's been a lot of doom and gloom about the real estate sector, and since the end of 2022, there's been significant value destruction around property prices across all asset classes as the cost of money has gone up. Real estate has become less valuable. You can't just borrow cheaply to get a yield and create an arbitrage. Strangely, if you look at what's happening in public markets, so the equity markets, gold, even digital, Bitcoin, etc., markets have continued to rally and are all-time highs. So what we've seen since the end of 2022 is value being created in the S&P, in the FTSE, and real estate really down in the dumps. And the spread now has got significantly large, right? So you've got public markets that are at all-time high and real estate pricing that has been really, really badly hit over the last 3 years. So that does lead me to believe that either public markets are too expensive or real estate markets are too cheap. It might be a bit of both, but I think you'll see that gap start to narrow over the next 12 to 24 months, and people will start to look at real estate pricing versus various other asset classes and say, well, you know, valuations of equities are really high, potentially being driven by the AI story, and is there a risk there that if the wheels fall off we might see a massive crash? And actually real estate prices are starting to look really interesting because they've been hammered consistently for 3 whole years now. And I think you'll see that trend start to develop over the next 12 months.